I'm here to talk to you today about field services and some of the exciting trends that are going to revolutionize our entire industry going forward. First, I want to talk to you a little bit about the history of field service management. One thing that hasn't changed since the dawn of time is the field service cycle. All of field services always started with a field service request. It continues to a second step, communication of that request to the appropriate person to solve the problem. And step 3 is the actual fulfillment of that request. Now, the academics would believe that the field service cycle stops at fulfillment. But the real aficionados know that there's a fourth step, and that is the feedback loop. The feedback loop to us is the most important because it determines whether the process repeats again and whether it involves the same people the second time. You don't believe me? I'm going to take you guys back through the sands of time to the medieval age. We have a request, which could have been some lord or lady who realizes there's something that needs to be done. They need to dispatch this request using the current technology of the time. That could be a carrier pigeon, or in this case, we have a wonderful footman. That goes to the local guild worker who is going to come and repair this problem. Now, don't forget about stage 4, the feedback loop. If this request was fulfilled successfully, money, adulation, praise would spread throughout the realm, and the guild worker would receive more work. If it was unsuccessful, well, you just kill the guy. This was an incredibly simplistic and self-correcting cycle of field services, but you know what? It wasn't very scalable. Let's bounce ahead to the Industrial Revolution. So the field service cycle would begin again. In this case, we have a lovely Victorian lady who is going to request some work to be done. She uses her brand newfangled telephone, which speedily communicates her to any number of field service technicians who will come and fulfill the request. If work was successful, you might receive a kindly worded letter explaining how pleased you were with the service. If the job was unsuccessful, you might receive a strongly worded letter complaining about the job you did. Now, at this point in the presentation, I thought it would be so cool to reach into my pocket and pull out a Victorian-era service complaint letter. However, after all the reams of data on the internet, I could not find a single one, which also led me to the conclusion that perhaps many of these complaint letters were not taken very seriously and were thrown right in the trash. Let's advance to the current day, the modern age that we live in. Today, a field service request can come from anywhere at any time from anybody, all through these wonderful phones we all carry in our pockets. They are dispatched to any number of technicians through any different types of communication. It could be by phone, it could be by email, it could be by social media. And then that field service request goes to a field service worker who has an enormous set of skills and technical prowess to solve today's modern problems. But there also is a modern feedback loop. You know what it is? Well, let me tell you. Twitter, Yelp, Facebook, message boards. This is the modern feedback loop. Social media. This is where a customer can make or break you. Now, let's talk about what does positive feedback look like in the world of social media? Well, it comes in the form of this. We all like it. It's encouraging, not real specific, but thumbs up, we'll take it. Now, what does negative feedback look like in social media? Well, it gets real specific. All you got to do is go to Twitter. Anybody can do this. There's new stuff every day. I went out there the other day and this is what I found. I've redacted some of the names to protect the innocent. Twitter is telling me a couple things that have come in real recently. Here's one. Still waiting on our new blank, fantastic services and promises from, insert your company here, as per #bad service. And that was tweeted to 147 followers. It sounds like this particular person was being a bit sarcastic. So, insert a company here, didn't deliver my shopping at all, and the driver lied. Complaint coming your way, #bad customer service. And that was tweeted to 280 followers. Here's one I really like. It's not okay to wait an effing week for installation. #fail, #bad service, tweeted to over 1,600 followers. It starts to get rougher here. This is when it gets personal. At, insert your company name here. In support, his name is, insert your technician's name here. They're actually calling out the technician's name. It's directly associated with one person. We will now be porting 4 lines away from you. #bad service, #greedy, slap in the face. They're getting physical now, and that was tweeted to 4,800 people. So when we talk about the modern feedback loop, and you consider the tools that the modern consumer is using, it sounds like the executioner is still there. Only it's worse, because the executioner focused on the individual who is creating the problem, where in the modern feedback loop, everybody in your organization is affected. They can drag your entire company through the mud. Now the question is, what are we going to do about it?